Welcome to Turn It Up, and one of the great fellas you'd ever meet in rugby league, Rod Wishart, Gerringong boy.
Joey, great to be here. Great to catch up with you guys too. So, yeah.
We saw that try there playing for the Illawarra Steelers. Young kids at home would know before St George Illawarra there was a team out of Wollongong.
Yes.
How was that? You're a Gerringong boy representing where you grew up?
Yeah. So, as a kid growing up in Gerringong, that's all you did. So, play for Gerringong, play rugby league. We grew up with Mick Cronin, who was playing for Parramatta. The Steelers weren't there back in those days, so he had to travel all the way out to Parramatta. So when I hit a grade, I had the opportunity to play for Illawarra, which is just up the road, and you still had the opportunity to still live in Gerringong, which is fantastic.
Which is God's country.
Yeah.
And it's flying down there now, the rugby league in Gerringong. How many players in the NRL or NRL system? Population 4,000?
About 4,000, and it's a bit of a hot spot at the moment. I reckon there's probably 7 or 8 guys that are playing NRL right now, and a couple on the fringe. So, but Gerringong's always had good footballers, and the South Coast, likewise, good breeding ground for rugby league players.
For junior footy. Volunteers.
A lot of the awards they've been giving out, Kiama, Shell Harbour, talk about a lot of those South Coast areas got so many people helping out.
You can't run a club without good people.
Yeah.
And I'll speak about Gerringong, and Mick Cronin is instrumental with the Gerringong Footy Club, but he'll say that it's not him, it's the people around him, it's the people that turn up and put in the hard yards. There's plenty of them at Gerringong, and it shows on the football field, and now we're getting results in NRL as well.
One of those Gerringong products is your son, Tyron. What have you made of his career so far?
Yeah, he's going well. I'm proud of the way that where he is now and where he was probably 3 or 4 years ago. He's had some hurdles he needs to get over, some hoops to jump through, but he's stayed patient. He works really, really hard, and he joined the Storm, and since then he's come on.
Well, you can see the bull didn't jump the fence. He looks exactly like him.
Yes, he does. But if you ask my wife, she reckons we're nothing alike. She reckons I'm a lot more attractive.
Now you've got a daughter who's got a baby now to Ruben Garrick. So you not only got a son who's a footballer.
Yeah.
Was that a nightmare when your daughter came home with a footballer?
Oh, no, not necessarily. No. Ruben's a top bloke. Grew up in Gerringong himself, and they've just had our first grandchild, little girl, Elsie, and he only got probably 3 or 4 hours sleep last week and scored 4 tries. So I think he's a happy dad.
Joey used to do that most of the times anyway.
Yeah, that was every weekend.
Well, he scored 28 points, so he goal kicked a lot. You're a goal kicker.
Yeah.
And I used to love your style.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like Ross Conlon. Ross Conlon had a style. Did you copy Ross Conlon?
Actually, you know what? I did, because I thought, that might be something I need to, because he was a good goal kicker, and he was one of the first to sort of come around with the around the corner style back in those days, and I tried doing the Mick Cronin toe poke, but it just didn't work. So I thought, Ross Conlon's probably not a bad bloke to imitate. So I did that, but nowadays it's such a bad action. You need to be... So if I had the time again, I'd cut that out. But Ruben has got a really good style. Like all the other kickers now, they do a lot of work with their kicking, and percentage rates weren't as good when I was playing, I can tell you.
We were talking about the Ashes tours in previous segments. What's your memory of your time going over to England and touring with Australia?
Yeah, and look, it's probably the best times of my life, playing rugby league. So we did the '94 Kangaroo Tour, and and Freddie was there. So 10 weeks, close to a quarter of a year, we were over in the UK and France, playing with some fantastic players and good blokes. Camaraderie was so good as well. Staying in Leeds. And as you see some of the footage, and it was just, you look back and think how privileged I was to play with those guys, and yeah, hopefully we can get some kangaroo tours again in the future.
So Wish used to wear these high cap boots. I remember there was a game. There was a game where
I knew this was going to come.
there was a game where ET was slipping everywhere. It was a test match, and Bozo comes over and goes, "What are you doing, ET? Go and change your boots." And I just got into him and he goes, "Get Wishies, change with Wish." And he looked down and he goes, "Nah, they're ridiculous."
The high top. Why did you play in those high tops?
Yeah, there is something behind this, I know. So when I was a kid, I had really bad ankles, so late teens, and I just kept on turning my ankles, and so the medical people said, "Look, you should be wearing some boots with good support, strap them up." So I did it for a couple of years. Anyone would think, you know, I'd been wearing it all my life, you know, with you guys, but did it for 2 or 3 years, but I didn't do my ankle again, so it was all good.
After the Steelers, there was the merger between St George and Illawarra, and you were a part of that. How much of a change was that?
Yeah, it was a big change, and two cultures bringing together. And Illawarra, we had a lot of local guys from the Wollongong South Coast, so we were all country boys.
So you reckon there's a difference between city blokes and country blokes?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So when we joined together, I think the St George guys have found it hard to understand what we were saying. We were speaking a little bit slow, and they were going that fast. We were slow down. So, but eventually we all worked in together, and it was the merge sort of worked, and it took some time, but we got there in the end, and it took a while for us to get a first win. But we finally got to the semis and obviously made a grand final.
Was that your last game, the grand final?
It was, yeah.
What do you remember for that?
I remember it was. I started on the bench, and we had our opportunities, and they were.
Do you think you were home?
Once at some stage, I thought, if we controlled the ball and we did everything right, but you know how momentum works. We lost it and we couldn't get it back, and there's a few. People will say different parts of the game, they'll blame that, but across the board, I think everyone's had a hand up on why we didn't win the game. We lost momentum.
You played with some interesting players over that time. What about Anthony Mundine? Like, obviously, unbelievably talented, always spoke a lot. What was he like, behind the facade?
He was great. Such a talent.
He's a great fella.
Yeah. No, real good, and very competitive as well, even at training. And I think that's the sort of his nature as a sports person himself too. So he had a lot to our club, and it was a different sort of fella. But combined with everyone, we all got on and obviously got the job done to get to a grand final, but we just couldn't finish it off.
Where was your loyalty yesterday? Your team played against a young fella.
Yeah, no, it's funny how things work, Billy. So, I think Melbourne, and it's funny how Melbourne was the team that beat us, and here I am supporting Melbourne now, and it's now I sort of understand how Melbourne work a little bit. You see what happens behind the play. I'm so happy that Tyron's at Melbourne and he's playing some good football, and they're coaching in there. Obviously, Bellamy, Craig does a fantastic job, but all the other coaches, they teach football players to be really good players. So, hopefully it's sort of rubbed off on Tyron, and hopefully he's got a few good years in front of him.
Surfing is a big part of your life?
It is. Yeah, it still is.
What's that mean to you?
Everything. I'll keep surfing until I drop. And the surf was good this morning, and I missed out coming here. But anyway,
sorry,
that's the way it works. So surfing, playing golf, it's so good.
What about Origin? How good Origin? You played during that 92, 93, 94 era.
Yeah.
How good was Origin playing for New South Wales?
Well, I was lucky. I played in 9 series through the 90s. Started in 90, played every year to 98. So New South Wales won 6 of them. So it was a good era to play. Freddie, you were playing in all of those as well. So it was. I look back and we had some great coaches. Big Jack Gibson was my first coach, and Timmy Sheens, Gus. Gus was such a good coach, and I know it was probably just only Origin. We say only Origin, but he's probably the best coach that I've had.
It was
Made you-
good. How good was it?
He just made you feel good about who you were and what you were doing. And I've actually got a story that involves you a little bit too, mate, because in '95 we come in and you're in the team for the first year. I was doing the goal kicking up until then, and I thought, oh, Joey Johns, he's a good goal kicker, and I like doing the goal kicking. So I did something I don't usually do and spoke to Gus and said,
You white ant me.
I did. I did. I thought, right, I'm going to. I'll say, Gus, I know Joey's a really good goal kicker, but I've been doing it, and I'd like to do it. And this is the way sort of Gus is, and I'm not telling you anything you probably don't know, but he said, Wishy, I'm going to tell you something. When I pick Origin, I pick players that have put their hand up, and you know, there's other wingers that are faster and they'll score more tries and they're more evasive. And I'm thinking, where are you going with this one, Gus? So he said, but when it comes to Origin, I pick you because you've always got your hand up and you'll always do the best thing for your state. And he said, if you want to do the kicking, there you go, kick the hell out of it. So, and he just made you feel so good about yourself and what you were doing. And
we lost 3-0 on the back of your goal.
What about you got right?
I didn't play the next time. You kicked and I never got it back.
What about a moment where you got in the clear and Martin Langren you down to Queensland front
I
row?
wish you didn't say that. But anyway.
Here it is here on the screen.
Yeah. He's one of the fastest forwards in history, I think.
Go Wishy.
But what can I say?
It was Matty Singh, mate.
Matty Singh,
The
gotcha.
winger, Matty Singh.
Yeah.
Young, fast Matty Singh.
Yeah. But, look back at the whole Origin, process during the 90s was so unbelievable.
Rod, what do you do with yourself now?
Well, I'm still working. I've got a business we've had for about 20 years. So we do automotive paints.
Okay.
And I've got a very good business partner that runs the show pretty well. And
When the surf's good.
I'm winding down a little bit. We've got a good team of people, but do that and surf, play golf, look after now grandkids.
Yeah.
So that's the next phase in my life. And looking forward to it.
Nice.
What does sport do for business? You know, people always sort of try to create a likeness of both of them. Was being a footballer, how to work in your business?
Yeah, no, well, I think you can treat running a business like a sporting team, and for me, it was rugby league. Everyone's got their positions. You should have some leaders in there that lead by example. But at the end of the day, when the going gets tough, you all work in together and grind yourself out. So we try and do that. We've got a great team of people, and and it's very, very similar.
What about some of the memories? Can you pick one of your greatest memories during your career?
It's really hard, you know. I always reflect back and not just one, but I really love running out at Wynn Stadium playing for the Illawarra Steelers. They're a crowd that just they support the team like no one else. So I can't single out anything, but playing in Kangaroo Tours and playing Origin and stuff, it's I look back and it's just really hard to put one thing into place.
You got a greatest player that you've seen, played against, played with?
Yeah. There's a few, and you've got two over there that are so privileged to play with you guys, and you learn so much from other players as well. I got to play with Paul McGregor, so a teammate would be Paul McGregor, but a guy that I've played with and against would have to be Bradley Clyde. I look at him and he just did everything with the ball in defence. He was a machine. As a winger, if the ball got kicked downfield, I'd be there to try and in. Clyde would push me out of the way and say, no, get back. Yeah, I'll take this one off. So that's what he was like. And I think if you had to single out one guy through the 90s that could play right now, Bradley Clyde would be one of them for sure.
Well, thanks for coming up, especially when the surf's pumping. And stick around, you're going to do the pass-off, yeah?
I don't do much passing.
This should be good.
I'll be there.
Anyway, stay with us after the break, more of the Sunday Footy Show. That was